I reported my wife to CPS after she threatened to expose my affair with her sister, then acted like I had nothing to do with it when she got deported. Okay, so this is completely up and I'm losing my mind. My wife got deported 3 weeks ago and everyone thinks it's some tragic accident, but I'm the one who called CPS on her. Here's the backstory. Update 3. He slides another document across the desk, which brings us to this. It's a criminal complaint filed in federal court yesterday. Conspiracy to make false statements to federal agents, filing false reports, immigration fraud. Your wife may be stuck overseas but her family isn't giving up. They want you prosecuted. I asked him what he wanted, what this was really about. Money, some kind of settlement. Justice, he said. Your wife lost everything because of your lies. Her child, her home, her future. Her family wants the world to know what kind of man you really are. He stood up to leave but turned back at the door. Oh, and one more thing, we've been in contact with your firm's ethics board. Turns out making false statements to federal agencies violates the rules of professional conduct for attorneys. After he left, I just sat in my office staring at the wall. Everything I did to protect my career might end up destroying it anyway. But it gets worse. When I got home that night, there was a car in my driveway. Her sister's car. She was sitting on my front steps with a laptop bag and this look of pure hatred on her face. We need to talk, she said. Turns out she's been working with a lawyer too. She had emails, text messages, recordings of conversations, everything that proves I orchestrated the whole thing. I recorded our conversation the day you told me you were going to fix things with my sister. She said, you said you had a plan to make the problem go away. She played the recording on her phone, my own voice saying I'd found a way to handle the blackmail situation, that I was going to turn the tables on my wife. You confessed to me and didn't even realize it, she said. I begged her not to turn over the evidence. Told her I was sorry that I never meant for any of this to happen. You killed my nephew, she said quietly. That baby died because of what you did to my sister, and now you're going to pay for it. She left the recording equipment on my porch and drove away. Haven't heard from her since, so now I'm sitting here waiting for federal agents to show up at my door. The lawyer says the criminal case could take months to build but the evidence is solid. My career is probably over either way. Well, Reddit, this is probably my last post before everything falls apart completely. The feds came yesterday. 2 agents showed up at my office at 9 a.m. with a warrant for my computer and files, walked me out in handcuffs in front of everyone. The looks on my co-workers' faces, the whispers, 15 years of reputation gone in 30 seconds. They held me for 6 hours asking questions about the immigration calls, the false statements, the evidence I provided. I kept asking for a lawyer, but they said this was just preliminary questioning. We know you did it, one agent said. We have recordings, documents, witness testimony. Your wife's family built a solid case. They showed me photos of my wife in detention. She looked terrible, hollow eyes, lost weight, wearing the same clothes for days. In one photo, she's curled up on a bench crying. This is what your lies did, the agent said. An innocent woman lost everything because you were too cowardly to face the consequences of your affair. They released me on my own recognizance but seized my passport. Can't leave the state without permission. Formal charges are coming next week. When I got home there was a news van outside. Somehow the story leaked. Local reporter asking questions about the federal investigation, about my wife's deportation, neighbors staring from their windows. My law firm called an emergency meeting, suspended me pending investigation. They can't have someone under federal indictment representing clients. The partnership I worked 10 years for, gone. But here's the thing that's really messing with my head. My wife called me, hadn't heard her voice in 2 months. She sounded different. Tired, older. Why did you do it? She asked. Why couldn't you just tell me you wanted a divorce? I tried to explain about the blackmail, about feeling trapped, about protecting my career. She just listened quietly. I was never going to send those messages, she said finally. I was angry and hurt, but I would never have actually done it. You know me better than that, but you had everything organized. You threatened me. I was bluffing, trying to scare you into fighting for our marriage. I thought if you realized how much you had to lose you'd choose me over my sister. My chest felt tight. You were bluffing. Of course I was bluffing. I loved you. Even after catching you cheating, I still loved you. I just wanted you to love me back. She started crying then. Do you know what it's like being deported to a country you barely remember? I came here when I was 19. This was my home. You were my home. I'm sorry, I whispered. I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't bring back our baby, she said. Sorry doesn't give me back my life. She told me about living with her parents, about the job interviews that go nowhere because she's been out of the country too long, about waking up every morning in a place that doesn't feel real. The worst part is everyone here thinks I'm this failure, who got kicked out of America. They don't know about the affair or the lies, they just see someone who couldn't make it. I asked if there was any chance she could come back if the charges against me might help her case. Even if they prove you lied, it doesn't change my deportation. I'm banned for 10 years minimum. By then I'll be 42, starting over with nothing. Before she hung up, she said something that's been playing in my head non-stop. You destroyed both our lives over something that didn't even happen. I never would have sent those messages. You killed our marriage, our baby, our future over a threat that was never real, so that's where I am. Reddit, facing federal charges, lost my career, destroyed my marriage over a bluff I was too paranoid to see through. The preliminary hearing is next month. My lawyer says prison time is unlikely for a first offense, but my law license is definitely gone. Everything I worked for wasted. Her sister was right. I am a monster. Not because I had an affair, but because when faced with consequences I chose to destroy an innocent person rather than face the truth. My wife is stuck in poverty overseas, our child is dead, my career is over, all because I was too much of a coward to just admit I wanted a divorce. I keep thinking about that recording her sister played. My own voice saying I had a plan to make the problem go away, like my wife was just a problem to be solved instead of a person whose life I was about to ruin. So, Reddit, final judgment, a per getting my wife deported to avoid career consequences. Yeah, I think we all know the answer to that.